Happy Monday. Sakita, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you coming through. We are just getting everything finalized here. We're ready to roll. Just gonna let some people uh, join up on the streamer before we get started. We are ready to um, get this thing going, man. So I'm excited to hang out with you guys for a little bit. Won't be a super long stream, but long enough to give you guys a little bit of insight of what's been going on with Madden and my determination to address and fix the CP quarterback play. Now, what you guys are about to see here are virtually the same that I have going on for two different aspects of Madden. Yo, Sean, what's going on? Trey. What's up, man? Thank you for coming through, bro. Lupus, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, man. So I'm super excited. So what we're gonna do right now. This is before you click off when I say this, please just hear me out. We're gonna do some CPU versus CPU gameplay, but the sliders are virtually the same as the user versus CPU that I'm working on. I actually played a little bit with them for about 30 minutes yesterday on stream. I posted what we had in the members Discord. The feedback has been chef's kiss, right? So this is virtually the same for CPU versus CPU. This is just going to be kind of showing off where we're at there. For me, the slider set's finished, right? So what I'm doing is I have an online league, and I got two other people in here so that I can replicate what's going on in the SGN league, where we have multi-users playing against each other, because you just can't replicate that when you're doing a user versus CPU franchise. Now, to be fair, these are the exact same sliders that I've been using that I was initially using in the user versus CPU. They've translated beautifully so far. So what we've been doing is, first we're going through doing various matchups. Gameplay's been holding up great. Next, we've started to do weekly strategy. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. You guys have known for the longest time, I have been saying weekly strategy has always been on the defense. It's always been defend short pass, offense is blitz counter. In diving into this, in doing some tests, I'm lifting that. I'm not going to follow that anymore. I think scouting is going to be more prevalent in what you want to choose to do. Because we've tested things like we've done testing where we both, and this is what's great about having another user in there, and you can be like, hey, let's test this. So we've literally tested where we both picked our defense was going to be defend deep pass, and our offense was going to be run inside to see the impacts. We've been doing all sorts of combos, and for this game right here, I don't know what to expect. I'll get to that in a second, but the combos are just kind of, you see a lot of variances in the gameplay. Gameplays overall is solid. One thing the defend deep pass did is when they were trying to go deep, and you could tell a lot of times the pass wasn't there, they want to throw it, and it did lead to a couple more coverage sacks, you could call it. But the sack totals were still well within reason. I was honestly, and before we even started doing that, we were just letting the game plans, just whatever they were defaulting to. We didn't even touch them. We just simulated them. And the gameplay was holding up, and we were seeing different experiences. And then we were like, well, I think they were doing this versus this. We were trying to identify. And then we decided, let's just go ahead and test it. Yo, what's up, Powers? So for this game here, and shout out to Big Papa, bro. Man, he has been putting in so much work, taking so much of his free time to go in here and do this with me. I got Rated RKO in here helping me out on this one too. Big Papa's been putting in a lot of work, coming up with some ideas, man, that have been fantastic, and it's been sticking. So for this game right here, again, I don't know what I'm going to expect. This maybe has been game planned for the CPU before, I don't know. But we're going to do contain quarterback scramble for offense. Or for defense, excuse me. In offense, we are going to do, run outside. We've done run inside. We've done throw it deep. Obviously, we've done blitz counter. Haven't done run outside. So I'm just curious. And real quick, one thing we're also checking too is does this impact the play calls? Like if you hit, oh, run inside is our game plan, are they going to run the ball inside more? No. Does not impact their play calling whatsoever. It just means that when they choose to do those plays, run inside or throw short, whatever, they have higher success. Yeah, Powers, we got a couple changes, bro. Check out the members post I posted yesterday, brother. You're gonna like that. You're gonna like that. So that was kind of, I don't know if it was disappointing, but also kind of a good thing, right? But yeah, so whatever you select here does not impact their play calling. It just gives them better success when they call said play. So playbook changes are still going to be needed for those teams we know have poor run pass ratio playbooks. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and advance. We're doing the run outside and quarterback contain. I don't care about anything else because we've been just jumping around. In an online franchise, you do have the option to go from team to team. You just retire your character and just hit choose different, create new character, and you just instantly can hop to another team. So that's how we've been able to just hop around and play all these various matchups. The one key thing that makes it easy to do the weekly strategy is if one person stays with the team and only the other person switches, because if you do it at the same time, whatever, it'll advance the week automatically. This allows us to advance the week when both teams have been selected, and then we can have a weekly strategy. So anyway, that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and play this game. And the reason I'm saying my Madden Secret project is revealed is because, with the exception of one setting, this is the exact same as my user versus CPU, which again, we did play a little bit yesterday at the end of my stream. I was like, hey, let's test this out. I haven't really tried it too much. And it went pretty dang good. So we've gotten more games in on this today. It's been phenomenal. I am going to cut up some gameplay and put that out for you guys too. But I wanted to do a live stream, man. I know I didn't live stream too much the last couple of weeks, and I love live streaming with you guys. So I thought it was time to just get back into the live streams. And these CPU versus CPU games, they go pretty quick, which is why I said it's not going to be a long stream. I'm also not going to do the music because I'm going to be talking with you guys. I don't really care about the music for this. You know what I mean? I'm just going to show off where we're at the gameplay. Now, again, I have no idea what to expect from the quarterback contained. So if we do see the most sacks we've gotten combined on any of our sims, and we've done a lot, has been 8. We hover fairly consistently around 5. We've had, obviously, games below that. We've had a 1 sack combined game. We've had 3. We've had a lot of 5, a lot of 2 for 1, 3 for the other, 4 for 1, 1 for the other. We've had several 6s, 1 or 2 B7, and then 1 8. So the sacks are normally pretty low or within reason. You know, like I said, I believe the average is 5. 5 combined is what we've been getting in this method over and over and over again. And even some of those sacks have been at the end of the game, a team's trying to run a 2-minute drill and they're trying to throw deep and it's not there, and they end up eating a sack. You know, something stupid like that, where the whole game there was 3 or 4 combined sacks, and then they take 2 at the very, 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 very end of the game. So, but the good news is too is the sacks have all looked really good. They haven't been the egregious, ugly, horrible-looking ones that make you want to rip your hair out. They've all been, for the most part, pretty realistic-looking sacks with the occasional, like, what the hell were they doing? So let's go ahead and get this going. And I appreciate you guys who are not doing the CPU versus CPU stuff. You're only interested in user versus CPU. I appreciate you guys hanging around because, like I said, these are almost an exact match. The only difference is the offensive line auto sub. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same. So, anyway, not the most exciting matchup between the Giants and the Falcons, but hopefully we see some good things. and completion percentages have been very good. We've seen a lot of fluctuations. We've had some down in the 50%. We've had some up into the mid 80s. Uh, you know, it's been good, man. I was getting excited when I was testing this in a user versus CPU. But as it was pointed out to me, the online CPU versus CPU league is completely different than a user versus CPU. Yo, thank you for the follow, Justice, over on Twitch. Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much. So success in the run game, yes, Trey. So there's two keys to that. Number one, you got to get a playbook where the team will run the football. Now we did see the split, because I'm the Falcons in this particular one, that the Giants had, was it a 58 to 42 run pass ratio percentage? So we should see some decent runs. And their run, we did rush to the outside. So they're going to have extra success when they're going to the outside versus to the inside. Yo, Twisted, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in over there on Twitch. Appreciate you, my brother. What's up, Ron? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming through. So Trey, to answer your question, and as you are seeing here on stream, yes, so figured out how to get run success for the teams. Now, there still are, depending on matchups. We've had some lower rushing yards per carry, but then we've also had, like, DeAndre Swift ran for $150 the other night. Big Papa, there you go, man of the hour. What's up, my guy? Appreciate you coming through. Running's been a lot better. The big key is definitely getting a team that has a playbook where they run the football. And you'll see a lot of variances. And in that, and so far, Big Papa and I we've done a lot of testing on the offense running inside, being successful on the inside. But this is the first game where we're doing outside. So Big Papa, just so you know, this game is the offense is rush outside and then quarterback contain. Just to see, because again, we haven't ran quarterback containing. We've done a lot of, all year we've been doing defend short pass. We don't need to really test that. All year we've done blitz counter. We don't really need to test that. So what we've been testing is defend medium, defend long, defend run inside, defend, all that stuff. We haven't done quarterback contain yet. Trey, we made it. Oh, there we go. Look at that drive from the Giants, man. Yeah, Trey, there was an update I made that was actually Big Papa's suggestion to look at this particular setting, and it was actually it's really helped. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that it would, but it has. But there's some really good playbooks, Trey, so that's what we've also been trying to do too, is test with teams that we know have pretty good run pass ratios already, and then the teams that we don't. Sometimes we will switch up their playbook a little bit to try to help out. But we're not investing a lot of time in that. We're just trying to get games in, do the weekly strategies a little bit. You've traded in Madden 25 for MLB the 25 and you haven't lost the game yet. Yeah, well, you can't lose a game if you don't have it, Ron. And that's a joke unless you're referring to MLB the Show 25. You haven't lost the game yet. All right, so let's see how the Falcons respond to the Giants. Shown. So for now, on weekly strategy, you, instead of setting a defend short pass blitz counter, you now have it on contain QB. No, Shown. I'm getting rid of the you have to do this every single time. I'm opening up to whatever you want it to be. We're just testing the different strategies, and that's a very, very ugly sack. But I did say that could happen from the contained quarterback, which you don't typically see called. but he wanted to take off and run, and he couldn't because of the contain there, and he ran backwards. So contain quarterback snap. I was thinking that might be the case, and I really wanted to see if that was what was going to happen. And that's kind of one of the other things too, is identify potential problems from various game plans that are selected. So, like we already established, if you do defend deep pass, they want to throw it deep. See, we're already seeing more of that on a contained quarterback. So we probably know contained quarterback is going to be a problem, right? Against the quarterback who wants to scramble and move on his feet. Defense pass deep is 1. 2 that we kind of identified. Yes, you get better pass defense deep, but if they want to go deep, then there's an issue. I'm going to give it one more possession to see. Big Papa, if you're around, could you get on and take a team? And if it's going to be like that all game for Penix because we're on the quarterback contain, I would rather do another game for stream. Penix only took 2 sacks. We actually ran a game against the Raiders, and he only had 2 sacks that game. But we saw more ugly sacks on that play with the quarterback contained than we've seen the entire. I mean, well, we've seen about two ugly sacks that whole time, and we just saw them right there on that play. We saw 2. So I'm thinking you'll jump on, appreciate it. So as you can see, I'm already on the Falcons. So if you can look to see that matchup, I'll potentially switch over. I'll give the Falcons one more.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
One more, but maybe we'll erase quarterback contain from the option. Nah, Trey, though, that's the thing. We haven't been having them. Because those are the sacks right there that make me shut it off because I don't want to watch it anymore. That's the whole reason I've been doing this. And we have not been having those sacks. It's been extremely, extremely rare. And then we have 2 on that opening drive. And that's what I wanted to test. Maybe I shouldn't have tested quarterback contain on stream, but I honestly was thinking, all right, this could go one of 2 ways. Quarterback contain will mean he'll step up in the pocket and he'll fire it, or it could lead to this, right? So, again, we'll kind of look and see. And I do hope Rated did the right one. Looks like he did. Giants look good offensively, man. Sucks we didn't really get to see anything from the Falcons because defaulted to the T. I figured you did. And again, I was just, I said before we even started that this could happen with the quarterback contain. So, but I was hoping that quarterback contain would lead to less sacks because it does say in its description, pass rush is nerfed because you're not focusing on getting to the quarterback. You're focusing on containing him and not preventing him from scramble. So then I was like, okay, that means Penix will not try to scramble and what's his nuts for the Giants? I can't even think of his name right now. Daniel Jones, they won't try to take off and run. They're going to step up in the pocket and they're just going to sling it, which we've been seeing a lot of. But there what happened is on that last possession, and we'll give it one more possession. Big Papa looks like he's ready to roll. You just did it and it was 2-2? Interesting. Maybe we just had an ugly fluke here. Because Penix, yeah, that was two really, really ugly ones. Like, I could handle it if it was just the collapse, but he straight ran, man. He straight ran backwards. That looked like, and that's just interesting too. So we did rushing outside, right? That was an inside run, and he still had success there. Third and 1, don't hand it off. Okay. So maybe it'll settle down too. I know Big Papa can attest to this. We've ran some games where in the first quarter we've had 3 combined sacks, and then we've had 1 sack the rest of the game. Or 2 the rest of the game. Like something clicks and the quarterback just kind of settles down, gets their mind right, whatever you want to call it. Good pass breakup. They play Jax, might be a good one. That would be a good one because Jacksonville has if the Raiders have the best run pass ratio, Jacksonville book is like second. Ooh, I like the throw. I like the attempt. Just got picked. Jacksonville's right up there with a really good run pass ratio along with the Panthers. Jacksonville's is really, really good. That would be a good one, Big Papa. That possession, he was okay. So we'll let it ride. You can, if you want to get everything ready. My follow chat is screwed up? What do you mean? On Twitch, what do you mean my follow chat is screwed up? Yeah, so first time they have to wait 10 minutes to chat when they're on Twitch. That is the Twitch recommended setting to allow people to comment on your videos, is that they have to follow you for 10 minutes. It's a Twitch recommended setting so that you don't have people that'll follow you to spam or, well, mostly spam content, right? There's a lot of bots out there. They just instantly follow people and then spam stuff and go, right? So when you put in that 10-minute wait period, which I think, pick right there, it gets rid of all that. And I think that's the lowest setting Twitch has. So I do apologize, but appreciate it. Hey, take care, Ron. Run outside for Las Vegas. Yeah, I know they don't have a lot of patience. But the good news is if you ever come back and watch one of my streams, you will never have to wait again, my guy. That's the good news. Yeah, Big Papa, if you want to. What are you thinking for defense? That's also the incentive, too, though, on Twitch, right? And, I mean, on YouTube, I have it as a 1-minute delay. But the spamming on YouTube is not like the spamming on Twitch. I don't get the spamming in my YouTube comments, but Twitch, there's always some bot in there saying, click here to get followers, whatever, right? Just eating up the chat space, So this is kind of the option to reduce that. But I appreciate you hanging around for 10 minutes to say what's up, man. I really do. The time you went to my server, you got started. How'd you get spammed? Good running. Dude, run right up the middle. Or we're just going to go run inside, give everyone a show? Well, here's the thing, Big Papa. We're on rush outside this game, and he just ran up the middle. You have no clue who it was. There are, of course, some bots and stuff like that in the Discord. Normally myself or one of the mods will 86 them as soon as we see them, but sometimes they do get away with it a little bit before we know about it. So I do apologize. Uh-oh. 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 Ah. No. I don't like quarterback contain. You just, yeah, I saw you came to my server. I just accepted your friend request. You just got spammed immediately? By what? I mean, I see you in there, but are you getting like spams in your Discord messages from who? They're not people in my server. I wonder if that's just Discord. That's so weird. You shouldn't get any messages. Yo, anybody else? Everyone in the YouTube chat. I'm pretty sure all of you guys are in the Discord. Did that happen when you joined up? Like you just got spammed? Damn. That'd be annoying as heck, dude. Not for you. Yeah, no one else is saying they've had that, so that's good. I don't know. Apparently you're just a spam magnet. So that, man, this quarterback contained 3 sacks. All of them are ugly. Yankee says he gets them regularly and just blocks them and ban them from the server. Yeah, appreciate that. Like I said, you guys are normally pretty quick with it. You guys normally see them before I do. The last one that I saw was actually a Discord member who got hacked. And it was a DM to me. And this was a couple weeks ago. And it was clearly a hack. And I just responded, I was like, or like spam. I was like, what is this? Never got a response. And like a week ago, he responded, he's like, don't hit it, I was hacked. Don't click it, I was hacked. And I was like, yeah, I figured it out. But normally, I mean, it's tough though, you know? Like, the bigger your Discord, the more likely you are to get that BS, you know? But we're at 4,000. We've been at 4,000 for like a month. We hit 4,000, just kind of plateaued, which is all right because it's kind of allowed things to settle in a little bit, not let have things get too crazy. It gives me time to go through and see who's being active, so I can get more mods and stuff like that. So what'd you end up running with, Big Papa? I think we'll switch over at halftime. I can't handle Penix anymore in this quarterback contained strategy. I don't like it. I will say that. I do not like it. There we go. Oh! Moonball. To Singletary. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, you Justice, bro. Hopefully it's not what it is for you this time around. You're on the defend medium and run outside? Okay. Here's what's weird. Daniel Jones, we think of him as a scrambler, but he might not be that archetype here. We know Penix. Oh my God. Bad throw. We're definitely seeing the lower rated quarterback play. It's interesting to me, though, that Daniel Jones hasn't been affected, but Penix has been. I'm very curious their archetype in this format of the game, right? You're going to laugh if the Giants win, or, I mean, you wouldn't think they would. Penix has had a horrible game. I mean, he's about to take another bad sack here. I wonder if Daniel Jones is playing true to his rating. Well, I'm thinking Daniel Jones is a field general. Even though we know he's like really fast and scrambles and stuff, I'm thinking his archetype is field general, which is why the quarterback contain isn't affecting him. But I'm 90% sure Michael Penix's archetype at this stage, he's like a 71 overall, right? This is before all his buffs. Pretty sure he's a scrambler. And so I could see where running contain against the scrambler archetype could cause these fits. So there he stepped up in the pocket. Like, why couldn't you do that those other 3 horrible, ugly-ass sacks ago? You're on AP? Okay, cool, bro. Like I said, we'll switch over at half. Let's see what that looks like. Throw it deep. There we go. I want him to keep feeding Bijan, though, because he was eating. There we go. Love the audible. They are feeding Drake London, though. 5 catches already. I like that. We've been seeing that too. Like, we ran a game with the Raiders and Gardner Minshew was feeding Devontae Adams. There he goes. That's the inside where they're getting that little bit of a nerf. I think Big Papa, it's because of the archetype. Because Daniel Jones hasn't been affected. There's Drake London again. Throwing into that tight window, man. Love that. I think it's because he's an scrambler archetype. I really do. Because Daniel Jones has not looked like that. Can I look at his archetype in game? Dude, Drake London, Drake London, Drake London, Drake London. I freaking love that. Are you still in there, Big Papa? Can you go look at the roster and see if Penix, what his archetype is? Because if that's the case, then I'm changing my mind on quarterback contain. That's the risk you run running a scrambler archetype, right? If you have a playbook that has a lot of RPOs or read options, I should say, stuff like that, that's one thing. But if you're counting on him and making plays with your legs, you might just take a couple extra sacks. Yo, Brad, what's going on, my guy? Welcome to the stream. Long time no see. Good defense. You don't have to go look, Big Papa. We're 35 seconds away. There. Did you guys see that move? from the edge rusher, that spin, and he did not keep his contain. He spinned inside, and it allowed Penix. Look right there. See, 92. He spinned inside, and then Penix was able to run outside. He broke the rule of containment because had he stayed out there, that would have been another ugly sack. He's a field general. Interesting. What's Daniel Jones? That puts that theory to bed then. What's his awareness rating? Sorry. Down. Well, hold on. Oh, no. Oh, his play style is balanced and he's a field general archetype. What's his, his awareness rating? Oh, Brad, you've been playing him, bro? I wasn't sure because normally you comment, but I didn't see one from you. I'm glad you have been checking it out, man. Oh my God, Big Papa, that makes no sense then. So the field general's been affected and the scrambler hasn't. Yeah, Brad, it's been a lot more fun, hasn't it? Hasn't it made the CPU a little bit more challenging too? Yeah, but you can't assign custom playbooks to teams when you run you can do it for your team, right? But if you're like in our SGN league, Trey, only the person hosting the game, there it goes. I don't like quarterback contain. I don't like it. That's the fourth one. They were all the same, and that was twice as many we've had in the last 10 games. Let's get out of here. We'll switch it up. 74 awareness for Penix. And then we had that stupid end of half sack that we always get. Hard to judge off a half, but I want to see the running. See, Bijan could run well. Singletary couldn't. Even though it was both defend outside or rush outside. So sometimes you will have good running, and then the other team won't run the ball very well. It's just one of those things. Who am I switching over to? The Jaguars. So we'll just do this real quick. Oops. Yeah, please do. And more comments on that post too, Brad. It'll help more people maybe want to try it out. So we will go over here. We haven't ran the Jaguars yet, have we? Do. Think it's locked. Rated, I have to boot you, but I'll get you back in. Actually, I can just do that. That should open it up. Why is this all locked? Yeah, just advanced. Raiders versus, yeah, it's not me versus you, but why did it, oh, it's doing the double thing. Hold on. It was doing the double thing, like what happened to you. Bro, what? All right. Do you want to switch to the Titans? They should have their stuff set. You just why did it advance though? We were a week behind, were we not? Well, gotta do this real quick. So if you guys are curious, you'll at least get this part. Well, we can't do the weekly strategy though if it's on AP and you wanted to do the weekly strategy. I can just simulate the weekly strategy too. I could care less. We were doing that anyway. We were just testing weekly strategies to see what ones are feasible, what ones aren't. I can just simulate the weekly strategy. But it also won't be the same if you're not on the Titans, right? It'll just be like a user versus CPU type thing. Oh, this takes so dang long. That's okay. I'll simulate mine. Does it show you're about to play me though? Auto subs are in. Okay. So we'll just simulate this strategy. Do you think I should simulate the strategy or do you think I should set mine, Big Papa, for this? Because we won't know what the CPU is doing, so we could wing it, or I could do. We'll just wing it. Wait, are you saying yeah to wing it or yeah to set them? Set mine? Okay. And you said you wanted to do defend medium against Levis? %, easier to change, yeah. Bro, we're already through the season. We did lose like on 5 weeks though of playing because of it auto advancing, but we're all the way through one already. I should tell you guys how many games we have been doing. I do want to show you guys something though. Before I do this, I want to show you. Oops. Let's go here. I want to show you a game that we had. We actually have this recorded. I'm gonna upload this. It was under Big Papa, but I'm gonna steal it from him and upload it. This game right here. I want y'all to see something. 29 runs from Swift, 6 from Khalil Herbert, 12 from Bijan. These were pretty much all designed runs. 3 here. Eckler had 6. Both teams ran it more than they passed it. Well, I take that back. There was 28 runs from the Commanders to 29 pass attempts, and then you go to the Bears, 26, and they ran it 35 times. So when you combine them, we had more rushing attempts, straight up rushing attempts than passing attempts. Oh, and that was the also there was one combined sack. That game was wild. We're gonna upload that one. That one's definitely gonna get uploaded. All right, we got that there. Let's go ahead and let her buck. Oh, you're not on AP. Big Papa, what are you doing to me, brother? You're on AP now? Great. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get out of here. All right. We had a game with the Titans. Was it last night, the Titans, or the night before? Um, I don't remember, but that was a pretty good game, right? Titans versus Vikings. Yo, N890, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you coming through the stream. That's right. It was a good game, man. It was a fun game. So we'll do about a half of this one too, just because we only ran a half the other one because of. Nope. I pressed it twice, but even though we're on these high-powered consoles, EA's animations are from 2007 as far as their speed. You have to like literally go slow and wait for it. You can't just go quickly. Yo, Alex, what's going on, bro? Well, I was doing a lot of CPU versus CPU games, but for the SGN League, but I can't stream. The current season because it's not my sliders, and so I have a slider set out obviously for CPU versus CPU, and so if I'm streaming gameplay that isn't mine, it's going to confuse people. So that's the reason I haven't been streaming those games recently, is because this season we were in with a different slider set. Ooh, Will Levis. You're making me scared, bro. I can't handle any more of those ugly ass sacks, man. I saw enough for one night. I'll take that. As long as they're not running backwards, I don't care. In the SGN League, we're using Mad Dad's, he built a slider set during our year two. Um, because like I pointed out, you can build a slider set user versus CPU, and then you get it into the 32 team user league, and it just does not give the results that you were expecting, which is why I've been testing in this user versus user scenario with Big Papa, because I don't want to make that same mistake. So he put in a lot of work. We've been running his set. He's been getting thrown curveballs with what he was expecting his set to do versus how it's actually played out as well. I actually wasn't trying to build a new CPU versus CPU set. I was trying to fix the quarterback play from user versus CPU. I played what was it? I played my first game in my Saints franchise, my year 3, my first game, my week 1 game, and the quarterback play was just pissing me off. Like they're just taking the stupidest sacks, and I was like, there's got to be something, right? So I was just going back and I was kind of just trying to figure it out. I was like, all right, what can I do to X, Y, and Z? And then I got some gameplay, and I was like, holy smokes, the quarterback's doing this, and it's insane. And then we've been having some issues with sacks and stuff like that in the SGN League. So for shits and giggles, I threw my user versus CPU set into into a CPU, a slow sim game, right? And it played very similarly. And then it just started building, but there were still some issues, right? There was the quarterback play was there, but then there was some more run back sacks. And so just kind of started tweaking and testing a few things, and kind of made a pretty big discovery with one of the sliders that has really kind of changed things. And so then it's just been kind of just testing more and more. And honestly, the slider set's been set for the most part for like a week, other than trying to get the CPU to have more run success. We were getting instances where the CPU would run the ball 20 times, but it'd be for like 60 yards. Like they could not run the ball. There's just nothing there. And so it was figuring out how to improve the run game, the yards per carry, because everything else that I was trying to do would impact the passing game, right? And so fixing that, we finally found one that hasn't really impacted the sacks, but has improved the yards per carry overall. So you might be right on that, Brad, because you're playing, it's a little bit shorter. The reason I'm on 13 and 15 is because the less time, so the CPU doesn't audible out of a run as much. Because we do know CPU will come in. They probably call a lot more run plays than they actually execute in the game because they audible out of it. So you take away some of their time pre-snap, they're going to be less likely to audible out of that run. That's the only reason. But like I did say, you weren't here, Brad, but I will say we've ran a ton of games. Big Pop and I. The average has been 5 sacks. Like, I know we just had 4.5. And all of them were really, really ugly, which is the worst part about it. But we've been averaging very consistently 5 sacks combined, with a couple games. I will say there's not a lot of games where we're below 5 combined. There's been a handful of games below 5 combined, but there's also only been a handful of games above 5 combined. It's been really like 5 seems to be that magic number, wouldn't you say, Big Papa? If you're still here, 5 really seems to be that magic number. No, that's not bad. I mean, on a 17-game season, that translates to 42.5 sacks. So I can live with that. 2 teams in the NFL last year were over 50 sacks. The Bills and the Broncos. And then you had a bunch of teams with 40 sacks and a bunch with 30. So if we're right in that, and I actually answered someone in the Discord, if you finished with 42.5 sacks as a team, you'd be like 14th best in the NFL based on last year's stats. I can handle that. It's the where you're sitting there up there at the top of the league every single season because you're getting 50, 60 sacks. That's not realistic, right? Depending on your front four, but honestly, unless you have an Eagles front four, probably not happening. Also, that many sacks is your players are going to get a lot of XP boost from those sacks and tackles for losses. So then what happens is, and this, when you have a 32 team league, you have all these guys getting too many sacks for various reasons, right? So then they're getting all these XP boosts, and not just XP boosts, they're getting dev trade upgrades, which means that because they got 15 sacks or something like that, now they're a superstar or an X Factor dev trait, which means they're earning XP even faster to develop even faster to be even more powerful and get even more sacks. You know what I mean? It's one of those circles that go. Once you start it, it's kind of hard to stop it. But my goal was just to try to get it to be, if we streamed a season, right? If I picked a team and we did somehow, I don't know how to even do this, but let's just say this: if we had a 32 versus 32 like the SGN League, what a shot from Trevor Lawrence, bro! What a shot! But let me get back to my point. If in the SGN League there is a team or teams that had 60 sacks on a season, but only 1 to 2 of them, and I say 1 to 2 because it's a programming issue, not, but where those quarterback, you saw it, the quarterback turns and runs backwards. If there was only 1 to 2 of them, the rest were like realistic looking, like legit, blind. We've been seeing blindside sacks, pressure, sacks like that, but the quarterback isn't turning or running away. I could care less if a team gets 60 sacks. It's not, for me, it's not about the sack totals. Partly it is. But the reason it's about sack totals for me is because you can see that half the sacks that are happening, and this is year 1, year 2, year 3 in the SGN League, are from quarterbacks turning and running their ass backwards. So my frustration with the sacks isn't that there's a high amount of sacks, it's how the sacks are occurring. If we had sacks that were occurring at the same rate, but quarterbacks are stepping up, they were trying to take off and run, they weren't dropping back or running the wrong way, they were trying, whatever the case may be, in their realistic looking sacks, I have no problem with it. My issue is the sack totals with the quarterbacks turning and running the wrong way. That's what I want to eliminate. You eliminate that in there's 10 sacks a game, at least it wasn't ugly to watch a guy run the wrong ass way. So, what we saw last game against with Michael Penix, that's the shit that I can't stand. And that's what I've been trying to fix. And when I said that we've only seen it happen 2 to 3 times, Big Papa's here, you can vouch. Maybe 2 to 3 times in a whole season of games. Well, not a whole season because we can play 1 a week. But 16, 17 games. See, that's not a bad sack either. That pressure just came. He didn't run. He didn't turn her away. We saw more with that quarterback contain on Penix than in that first half than Big Papa and I have seen in 15 games, 14 games. Dude, Madden devs put in 4 verts in screenplays. It's like they don't know how to put anything else in the game for game planning. 3rd and long, it's a screenplay or it's a 4 verts. That's it. See so many 4 verts and so many screenplays. It's unbelievable to me. Like, how lazy do you have to be to make a playbook like that? Number one, to only put 20 plays in a given situation, to have the star ratings be how they are given for those situations, have the same play repeated in multiple situations 4 or 5 times. When you have 500 plays at your disposal, how lazy do you have to be? Alex, you're 100% right. The other time that they seem to happen a lot is 2-minute drills. So that's what's really frustrating is we'll go and we'll have a game, a great game of low sacks. And then it'll be a close game at the end. And so one team needs to try to get down and score. And so they'll be running a 2-minute drill. And guess what? They'll take 1 or 2 sacks in that 2-minute drill. That's the frustrating one. Good knockout, good defense. Yeah, they love 4 verts and screens and repeat plays because it's just lazy, man. Well, actually, I'll take that back. I don't know if it's lazy or the person who does the playbooks isn't really given nice ball, bro. Isn't given the amount of time to build a solid one. To put into it. You know what I mean? It could be that. But it's been an issue for years. At some point, you gotta put in time on playbooks, or if you're not going to put in the time on the playbooks or allow someone to put in the time on the playbooks, allow us to give the CPU custom playbooks with custom game plans. It blows my mind that we're not allowed to do that. Yo, I just realized that if Tennessee wins, that'd be like a tie for first place in the AFC South with 1 week to go. Well, Brad, they'd still find an excuse to not give someone the time to, love the throw as he was getting blitzed. There we go. So now you guys are starting to see what Big Pop and I have been talking about with the quarterback play. Standing down a blitz, letting it rip into pressure. The thing is how long do you think it would take to put together a well thought out game plan for just one team? Oh shit, D-Hop. Like just one team put together a playbook. You have all and I'm not talking just 20 plays a situation. That's really low. I'm talking 30, 40. Honestly, 40. 40 a situation so you get more variety. 40 a situation for your main first down, second down, third downs, and then you could go 20 for the fourth down, 20 for the goal to go, 20 for the 2-minute drill, inside the 5, whatever. Probably 30 plays for red zone offense. Yeah. But if you took the time to give them star ratings and build it out, no duplicate plays, how long do you think that would take? At minimum, probably 2.5 hours per team. So then you're looking at it, okay, there's 32 teams. So 2 hours would be 64 hours, plus you have another 16 hours on top of that. So you got to give someone 80 hours, right? So you're asking a dev to spend, if they work 40 hours a week, you're giving a dev 2 weeks where he's doing nothing but playbooks and game plans. That's a lot to ask of a company. I 100% believe they need to do it because they make enough money and the game needs it. And literally, once you do it once, you only have to tweak it, every couple years. But or the more brilliant thing is program some AI in there. Let AI reconfigure playbooks. Because what sucks is if you have a team that runs a lot of read options with their quarterback. They have a mobile quarterback. Ravens, Eagles, Cardinals, right? Got these mobile quarterbacks, good with their legs, love to run the read option. And let's just say you have Lamar Jackson, Baltimore, and there's a ton of read options in the Baltimore playbook. And let's just say you decide to take Baltimore over in your franchise, and you run a franchise for 10 years, and Lamar retires, and you draft the next Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, who, by definition, are statues. They do not run. They're not known for it. The playbook does not accommodate for your personnel. So they will still call read options with your 60 speed, 6'5" quarterback. Playbooks do not accommodate for your personnel. They don't change. That's why some people said that the Chiefs playbook, even when Kelsey retires in the game, they always have a good tight end because their playbook is prevalent on passes to the tight end. So the tight ends are always going to get XP, always going to be good. They don't adjust for personnel. With the advances we have in AI, why can't we have some sort of AI in there to tweak the playbook? Again, there's 500 plays in a playbook. You have your game plan. Why can't the game plan be tweaked and adjusted based on personnel by the AI? That's what coaches do in real life. Look at it. Jim Harbaugh, whichever Harbaugh, has been the coach in Baltimore for, 15 years? He started off with Statue Joe and transitioned to Lamar. He's the same coach. The playbook changed. They know fans are buying anyway. You're 100% right. And all 9 comp guys don't care about this. They don't complain because they're running their plays. This is just franchise guys that complain. But again, like Big Papa said, the community would do it for free if they gave us the ability to assign custom playbooks to CPU teams and franchise, which they need to. Why can't we? We can change it to any default team playbook, but that have horrible run-pass ratios, screens, and forwards, and the same play 4 or 5 times. But God forbid we put in a real calculated playbook. It's been a fun first half. Like I said, we're only going to do the first half, you guys, just because we already did the other first half and it's already 10 o'clock. So I do apologize that we're not going to get it all, but that that was just not it with the quarterback contain with Penix. But this game, although the teams are not running the ball very well, which is weird, and I think there's a lot of variance to it too, because like Big Papa said, the Titans ran the ball. Pollard ran it 27 times against the Vikings. This game, he's not even close to on pace for that. The Jaguars normally run the ball a lot, and they're not running it that much. So you're just getting variances in the gameplay. But you are seeing the quarterback. You're seeing him step up. You're seeing him throw it deep. You're seeing him throw into coverage. I think there's been 1 sack apiece. Yeah, second half adjustments would happen. We just won't make it there. Look at the throws, man. I love their throws. They're throwing into coverage. They're trying to throw guys open. Seeing more deflections, pass breakups. I would like to see the Titans run the freaking football, though. Granted, they've tried a little bit, and it hasn't been there. Even though we've set it to run outside to have extra effectiveness. But that's the weird thing. They're running. Oh, there you go. Nice moves, man. They're running inside. And they're not running out. They're not trying to run outside, which is interesting. But that's kind of point to Big Papa, like he said, let's set it to run inside to give him a show. CPU teams definitely run inside way more often. So doing the boost outside is not going to be nearly as effective just because they call so many fewer outside run plays where we know that there's a lot of inside zone. And Brad, 100%. Matchups matter too. Matchups 100% matter. But yeah, it's interesting. And the Titans were... Oh, that's right. Titans were simmed. We don't know what they were. You're right. But the Jaguars haven't been running the ball very well. Either. Yeah, we don't know what the Titans' game plan is. That's true. It was simmed. Look at that little fadeaway pass, man. This is a lot more points than we've been seeing too, man. We've been getting a lot of defensive battles. This has been a lot more points than what we've been seeing. But we've had a couple high scoring halves, like similar to this, and in the second half they don't really score much. Trevor Lawrence, 7 of 13, but he has 210 yards because he's got 2 deep balls. That's unreal to me, man. He's at 55%, but he has 210 yards. He had a deep ball to ETN, deep ball to Brian Robinson Jr. I'm pretty sure he had another one in there too, because that ain't going to get you to 210. Yeah, 10 for 27. So I take it back. They have tried to run the ball. They're pretty balanced. That's 14 passes to 10 runs. What sliders are you rocking, Alex? So the Jaguars have been pretty run balanced, even though they're averaging 2.7 yards a carry. I am curious how that would change in the second half, but unfortunately we won't know. Oh, and for those curious, all the gameplay sliders are at 50. Every single one. The only gameplay sliders that have been adjusted are field goal accuracy, punt accuracy, then of course the standard, injuries, speed threshold, penalties, and auto subs. That's it. There we go. Make the smart play. Don't take that ugly sack.
The Titans take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Bro, he wound up like he was going to let that sucker fly. Diop, 5 for 72 in the first half. That's a good-looking half. They're just working their way into field goal range. They're going to have one more chance at a play and then got to spike it and kick a field goal. Yep, got to go. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. Oh, spike it, you fools. Oh, my God. Oh, oh, my God. I can't believe that.
That's the end of the first half. With the score, Jaguars 21.
I thought they were going to spike it.
14.
That's just Madden clock management, right? Logic that isn't present in the game. No. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh, you're using your testing sliders? Okay. Very cool. So there we have first half numbers. Like I said, this was inflated. His passing yards are definitely inflated from some long passes, and then the inability of the either team to run this game, which at least in the first half. So they start running the ball a little bit better in the second half. You would see this go down. We haven't had a lot of 300 yards passers. The majority of our games, we've only had like 2 or 3 quarterbacks go over 300 yards. We've had a lot of like 280s, 290s, but only a handful have gone over 300. Rushing, this is where, all right, yeah. 9 attempts, they're both averaging 2.7 yards per carry, 1 broken tackle combined. So yeah, again, if there was an extra 15 yards here and an extra 15 yards here, there'd be, of course, less passing yards. So running is very important to that. But at least the carries are there. So Jacksonville, this was a read option. This wasn't even a scramble. This was a read option. So there's been no quarterback scrambles this game. Not one. This was a 100% read option play. So both teams have ran the ball 10 times compared to 18. So 10 to 18 and 10 to 26. So obviously Jacksonville run pass ratio is a bit better. But I want to point out 0 scrambles from either quarterback. 0. Why is that important? Well, first we'll look. So yeah, here's the 55-yarder to Brian Thomas and the 74-yarder. Got 129 yards on 2 passes right there. Oops. D-Hop killing it with 6 catches. Then there's Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley. Only the 2 catches for the tight end. Zero sacks for the Titans. 2 sacks for the Jaguars. So we had 2 sacks in the first half, 0 quarterback scrambles. And both quarterbacks are under 70% completion percentage. This is more in line with what me and Big. This is 100% in line with what me and Big Pop have been seeing. Other than, and again, it could change in the second half. We won't know. This is what we've been seeing in all our games. Similar stuff to this. Realistic completion percentages, realistic sack totals. We obviously been seeing quarterback scrambles, so weird that neither of those guys haven't. I'm gonna delete that so Big Papa can run that game. I'll let you run that one, Big Papa. Oops. Sorry. Woo! Almost made a mistake. So, yeah, that's been very similar to what we've been seeing from the quarterback play. That was a big thing is quarterback play. Both those sacks from Will Levis were realistic sacks. We didn't see an ugly, bad sack. So, that's what we got. I'm going to have some more gameplay I'm going to upload for you guys, and I'm going to try to do another stream. Big Pop and I are most likely going to get through. Well, we have playoff games we can run, Big Papa, but most likely we'll simulate, we'll get to, and we'll run a year or two where there's going to be a draft class in there. Things will change, and we'll just kind of keep it going a little bit. And I'm opening it up. If you want to help test this, man, and you want to join up in this, this isn't a serious thing. We're literally team hopping and just running matchups and just getting a lot of feedback, a lot of testing, a lot of information for this to go into year 4 of the SGN League. So if you are interested and you want to help out, message me in the Discord. We'll get you in here. This is not a real thing. This is going to get deleted. We're not doing trades. We're not doing rush. We're not doing anything. This is just team hopping, running games. That's it. To simulate the SGN League. So also, I'm going to get a couple. I want to do a little bit more, and then I will drop a video on this. That's going to coincide with my user versus CPU sliders, which are, if you're interested in the user versus CPU sliders, which are 95% the same as this. Those are uploaded for members to test, which Brad has been checking them out. He said they're awesome. Also, if you want to go back and watch my live stream from yesterday, I do give them out there. I'm not going to do it in this one because I've got to run. And also, I've been giving anybody in the Discord who wants to test the sliders, I've been telling them to DM me, and I send them a message with the filled out sliders. So, not even going to waste my time here because I've been openly promoting that in the Discord as well. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, coming through the stream. I'm going to try to come back with another one tomorrow. I really want to get some more gameplay in. Hopefully get some more feedback. I know Big Papa is itching at the bit to run another game, man, because they've been exciting and fun to watch, man. We've been seeing a lot of good things, too. Rated RKO, he was in here, too. He's enjoying it as well. So we're going to get a couple more games in for sure, get some uploads for you guys. Check it out. And then as long as everything holds true, have some new user versus CPU and CPU versus CPU sliders for you guys. So Brad, definitely do me that favor. Drop your feedback in the Madden, in the Discord, please. In the user versus CPU slider thread. Would really appreciate that from you, my guy. Otherwise, y'all, have a blessed night and take care. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.